What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Thank you to everybody joining us on our stream today. Definitely appreciate it. I don't miss this feeling, man. I don't. What a just letdown of coming off the high of Monday night, and you had like the aftermath of the Aaron Rodgers injury. Be like, all right, what Jets team is going to show up? You're hoping for a competitive game. And then what you got was today, which was an unmitigated mess. So if you're looking for a lot of positives and pom-pom stuff from me, coming out of me, I'm not going to give it to you. I will say this, that next Sunday is a must-win against the Patriots because today is completely inexcusable, and you've got to right this ship as quickly as possible. But for me, this Jets team, especially in a situation where Zach Wilson's your starting quarterback, your tone setter is your defense. They got to come out, be fast, physical, get the ball back, get the other team off balance, and and then you set your tone, right? And they come out, and the Cowboys come out, get the ball, march right down the field, touchdown. The Jets they're sleepwalking. This was similar to last year where they did that at times or a couple years ago under Saleh, where it was like the defense always comes out flat and slow, and they get better as the game goes along and gets better in the second half. But this was just, they marched right down the field, and you're like, of all things you want with Zach Wilson, the last thing you want is, being down 7-0. So that was bad. That was just like, you got a really bad feeling. The Jets offense gets the ball. Now, their first three plays, it was a tackle for a loss and a sack. Saleh gets bowled for it, goes for it on, I think it was 4th and 1 with a fake punt to Ashton Davis. They get it, then they go 3 and out. The Jets, for whatever reason, cannot get short yardage, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Even the quarterback sneak looks so friggin' difficult. I don't understand why. But I'll go back to the defense, then go to the offense. The Jets only had 1 sack, Solomon Thomas, and I don't, from the untrained eye, because I'm not a football expert, I do not understand when CeeDee Lamb is the focus of their offense and you play this zone where he's going to get over 11 catches, over 100 yards, and just light you up. He was running in space and he was running free, and they weren't doing anything about it. They had no pass rush. Solomon Thomas had the one sack. Looked like they were being held a couple times, but Quinn Williams only had like 1 big play. Like, the Jets defense just wasn't, they seemed like they were being completely outcoached. It was either being outcoached, it was effort, it was execution, or all three, but it wasn't pretty. Sauce Gardner had an enormous opportunity to get a pick 6, dropped it. That probably would have changed the entire game, to be honest with you, because then the Cowboys go on to score after that. So Sauce didn't have one of his better games. It's just nobody. Like, you can't really look at anybody on defense and be like, oh, they really showed up. The Cowboys had their way with them. They manhandled them they manhandled the defensive line. The corners were just giving up all kinds of catches. Like, the Cowboys, they were toying with them. And I think Mike McCarthy's weird play calling kept the Jets in the game. The Cowboys marched right down the field, get down to the goal line, and they were settling for field goals when the Jets weren't stopping the run. They couldn't stop Tony Pollard. They couldn't stop Turpin. Like, I don't understand McCarthy's play calling. He took the defense off the hook, to be honest with you. But a very, very disappointing effort from them, and I don't understand the game plan. On offense, I'm skipping a lot of things. Oh, and I know the one thing, everybody's all pissed off about McDonald not playing. I mean, listen, the Jets have a lot of talent on the defensive line. Carl Lawson was healthy. Lawson's going to play ahead of McDonald. McDonald didn't play a lot last week. I mean, that's not the reason why the Jets lost. The Jets couldn't tackle, they couldn't cover, and they couldn't execute. Will McDonald wasn't going to change that. Offensively, this is where I lost my mind. I'm not going to lie. The biggest question you had was the offensive line, which for the most part didn't play well last week, especially in pass protection. And everybody's like, stop being so negative. You're being too harsh. This is the NFL, man. Like, we can only evaluate what you see. So if what I see is what I'm going to tell you. And somebody else can tell you some other shit, I don't really care. What I don't understand is once it was established that Dwayne Brown could not defend Micah Parsons one-on-one, why weren't the Jets giving him any fucking help? He was getting owned. Put a running back in the backfield. Put a tight end next to him. They couldn't contain him. Dwayne Brown was struggling. So if you're not going to give him help, you're not going to take him out of the game. What exactly are you going to do? The offensive line looks like they're not either being coached, unprepared, or don't understand the scheme because too many guys are running in free and the offensive linemen look lost, including Elijah Vera Tucker. It was everybody. It wasn't just one person. Then you have false starts. Then you have this. It's like, I get it. It's early in the season, on the road, hostile environment. You've got to be prepared. Like, at what point do we have higher expectations? I'm tired of excuses. Seriously. And for Saleh to say, he's got to watch the tape. Like, you're watching it real time, man. Like, you got to make adjustments as the game is happening. So the offensive line can't do anything. So obviously, with Zach Wilson in the game plan, the plan is going to be sell out to stop the run, force the kid to beat you with his arm. So the Jets couldn't establish the run at all. Nobody had over 10 yards rushing except for Zach. Dalvin Cook had a terrible fumble, which was not even a fumble. It was just, that was an effort thing where he had the ball in his hand. They stripped it out of his hand. He does that. Then the receivers. You had Garrett Wilson with the great touchdown catch. He could have had two, but Zach's arm was hit. And the offense, it just doesn't look easy. Like, why does every other offense look easy? It's just same thing as last year. Like, what happened to, like, scheming guys open? Like I said, Garrett Wilson, he should have had a second touchdown. That was scheme. But the running game didn't look easy. The quick passes doesn't look easy. They're not using Hardman for whatever reason. You think they could use his speed at some point, right? I think that would make the most sense. And then you just, I don't know, man. It's so disappointing. I don't understand what the adjustments were. Zach looked good. I think at one point going in the second quarter, they only had one first down. And the first down was the special teams when they went for a fourth down with the fake punt. So the offense is obviously struggling, which to be somewhat expected with Zach's, in the game. But he's got to make throws. Breece Hall had a drop, maybe two. And it just didn't look comfortable, man. Like you see some things, you're like, he wasn't the biggest problem of this entire game. The interceptions in the fourth quarter, he was pressing. It was a mess. I'm not even sure why he's even still in the game. I would have took him out at some point in the fourth quarter. I'm not worried about perception. I take him out, keep his confidence high, because the more interceptions he throws, the more criticism he gets, and the less people believe in him. You take him out, let Boyle play. Garrett Wilson gets friggin' hurt. No idea what happened there. But the offense was a mess, man. There's no rhyme or reason, and you wonder what they're going to do now because you can't keep playing like this. And I would have brought in a veteran quarterback last week. I still would sign one this week because of the fact that if Zach goes down, you need a backup plan. If Zach isn't playing well, you need a backup plan. Unless you totally believe in Tim Boyle, which whatever. The kicker the Jets signed did fine. But overall, it's just, I probably skipped so many things, man, because I'm really annoyed. But overall, it's just disappointing, man. Like, you wondered what the team's energy was going to be coming off of this week. Will they rally around the young quarterback? Will they come out passion, energy, and pride? Or are they going to mail it in? And they mailed it in. You didn't get your best Jets team today in terms of effort, execution, and coaching. So it's like, all right, you wash this one away. It's the Cowboy game. I'm not going to give you any hot Zach Wilson takes. I thought you saw some good. You saw some bad. I still think he's an unknown. This is why I want him to sit out the rest of the year. For every good, you see some bad, and that's what happens with this experience. But next week's a must-win, and I just hate watching games like this, man. It's a grind. Bad penalties, stupid penalties. And the Jets never get any calls. Like the John Franklin Myers roughing the passer, I guess you could see why, but it's just you always get these bad penalties at the most untimely, the Brandon Eccles PI in the end zone was gross. It's just good teams find ways to win, bad teams find ways to lose, and they like self-destruct, right? So I don't know, man. Just wash this one away, rally around the Patriots. But Zach coming off this game, going against Belichick, who he always struggles against, is going to be a rough week for everybody. You'd like to hear Saleh be a little bit more annoyed and hold more people accountable, but this is the approach he takes, where he likes to be nice to everybody and whatever else. But that's it, man. Tough loss, bad loss. I think it's inexcusable to be like this because the standard for this team is much higher, even with Zach Wilson being the quarterback. But we seem like we're lowering the bar and the expectations are going down. And the bad play is getting justified and excuses are getting justified. And that's the same thing that happened last year, and I just hate that.